Roblox and the children's attention economy, a business model on trial. The FTC complaint against Roblox is the most consequential moment yet in what is becoming a full scale political and legal reckoning with how tech platforms monetize children. But what makes this particular case important isn't just the allegations. It's that Roblox represents a category of risk that is structurally different from social media, and therefore harder to regulate, harder to reform, and more dangerous to ignore. The case against Roblox rests on three interlocking claims: that its design maximizes engagement in ways that conflict with children's developmental needs, that its chat architecture repeatedly exposes children to predatory adults, and that its virtual currency Robux exploits children's neurological inability to regulate impulse spending. Each of these claims is serious on its own. Together, they describe a platform that has essentially industrialized childhood vulnerability. The Robux model deserves particular scrutiny. The fact that only 1.4% of users are paying customers sounds reassuring until you consider the math. 1.4% of 150 million daily users is 2.1 million paying accounts, generating $4.9 billion in annual revenue. That revenue is concentrated. It is not distributed evenly across a broad paying population. It is extracted disproportionately from the heaviest users, who in any platform designed around engagement maximization are the most psychologically dependent. In a platform where 40% of daily users are under 13, that concentration pattern is not incidental. It is the business model working as intended. The chat architecture raises a different and more visceral concern. A system where 9-year-olds can communicate with 15-year-olds and 13-year-olds with 17-year-olds is not a neutral design choice. It is a decision to create intergenerational contact that would be considered inappropriate in almost any offline context and then automate it at scale across 7 million user-generated game environments that the company cannot possibly monitor comprehensively. Roblox's introduction of facial age estimation and the Sentinel detection system suggests internal acknowledgement that the problem exists. It does not suggest the problem is solved. Jonathan Haidt's involvement brings intellectual credibility, but also strategic framing. His core thesis, that platforms have restructured adolescent social life in ways that produce measurable mental health deterioration, is by now well supported enough to have shifted legislative and regulatory sentiment significantly. The fact that his movement is filing alongside organizations as ideologically distinct as the National Center on Sexual Exploitation reflects a rare political consensus. Child safety online has become one of the few genuinely bipartisan concerns in American politics, and Roblox is now its primary target. Roblox's defense: that no one is required to buy Robux, that voice chat requires age verification, that direct chat is off by default for under 9s, follows the standard platform playbook of pointing to opt-outs and safety features as evidence of responsible design. This defense has been consistently rejected by courts and regulators in analogous cases. The California jury ruling last month that Meta and YouTube designed addictive products that harmed young people signals that voluntary safety features are no longer considered adequate when the underlying architecture is built around engagement maximization. The deeper structural issue is that Roblox is not simply a game. It is a user-generated content platform with social networking features and a functioning virtual economy, wrapped in game aesthetics that make it legible to children as entertainment. This layering makes regulation genuinely difficult. None of the existing frameworks for games, social media, or e-commerce map cleanly onto what Roblox actually is. The FTC complaint is partly an attempt to force that definitional question into the open. The most important number in this story is not the 1.4% of paying users or the $4.9 billion in revenue. It is 30 million children under 13 using the platform daily. At that scale, even marginal harm rates represent enormous absolute numbers of affected children. The platform's obligation to that population is not dischargeable by pointing to default settings that parents must actively override or safety systems that must detect harm after it occurs. The obligation is to not create the conditions for harm in the first place,